if you think your leads are bad, I want you to read and watch this training first because it might honestly change your life forever. Now, look, when I was first running ads, I used to blame the leads. Okay, but then I had to look in the mirror and realize the problem was my system and not actually my audience of the ads. Now, I've closed over $20 million in sales using Facebook ads, and it's because I've had the best mentors who speak to me very clearly and fucking directly about what works and what doesn't. I'm not a very smart man, okay, but I have the ability to be able to take guidance from people who have made more money than me. And a lot of the guidance and directness that they have given me, I'm going to share with you guys today because it has fundamentally changed my life. Now, look, early on when I was running ads, I'd say leads are bad, leads are shit, these leads are really bad quality. And what I was like really kind of say is like, I want to close more sales from my Facebook ads. And what I was doing initially is I was blaming the ads without looking at the sales processes. Now, ads generate leads of people who are curious. Your sales processes are what actually converts an ad into a sale. And so you can never just go, hey, my ads are shit without looking at the sales processes. And on the other side of it, someone can never go, hey, your sales processes are shit without looking at the ads. You need to look at everything to find what the biggest bottleneck is. Now, within businesses, when I was making this complaint, I'd closed under 100 sales on ads. Okay. And so when a business is closed under 100 sales on ads, it's 99.9% of the time a sales process issue. Okay. But not always. Okay. And so the biggest thing that we're looking at, right, which is a massive wake up call for me, is identifying how fast did I contact leads? How many times did I contacting them and what channels? And the truth was I didn't even have a system for it. Okay. Didn't have a system of what to say on the phone, what SMSs to send, what messages to send, what emails to send. Was it like automated and things like that? Which is because at the time I had under 100 sales closed. So I didn't have these systems. And Facebook ad systems are very different to like referral based systems and things like that. So number one thing is speed. Okay. And this is where I got a lot of things wrong. Now, in a Harvard study, you're 21 times more likely to qualify a lead if you contact them within 5 minutes compared to 30 minutes. So we can't really go around that, okay? And so what I had to do is implement systems where automations go out to my leads because it's impossible to call all your leads within 30 minutes, like even within 5, right? If you have a life, you have friends, you want to go to the gym, you don't want to have 24/7 staff. It's just absolutely impossible to do it, okay? And that's where automations are absolutely integral in all ads. Okay, after 10 minutes, it drops off massively. Okay, and with Andromeda, the way the update is on ads, say, in my local area, if I opt in for a gym, right, as soon as I opt in, I'm going to see all the other ads from all the other gyms in the area. And so the fastest business who contacts them is going to get the sale. So you cannot literally lose any minutes in your follow up anymore. Okay, and just remember, guys, and I'll say this all the time, is I used to say to my mentors, I call my leads within 5 minutes. And it's just like, what do you do with a lead at 11 p.m. at night? And I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot, right? It is impossible to call your leads within 5 minutes. You must have automations. If anyone ever tells you they contact leads within 5 minutes, like throw something out to them. It's like, you're at church on a Sunday and you get a lead. What do? They're like, well, I'm at church on a Sunday. It's like, well, don't lie then. You cannot contact your leads within 5 minutes, okay? And guys, just one attempt tells you nothing, right? With that kind of, when I first started on ads, I'd call leads like once or twice, email them, maybe message them, and I'd be like, the leads are bad. Now, all the data, which is crystal clear, right, shows you that after the 5th point of contact, 80% of the sales are made. Okay, and so that means you'll call them, SMS them, email them once a day for at least 5 days, then call the lead shit. Okay, then maybe call the lead shit. But if you're not doing that, you're just not contacting him enough. And that's something I had to have a good hard look in the mirror, right, about my own life and my own business. I just wasn't doing enough. Under 2% of sales are made after the first contact. You're not just going to SMS someone once, call them once, and like get sales. That is not a way to scale a business, especially not off Facebook ads. You got to think off Facebook ads. People are curious, not committed. They're going on their feeds. Okay, they've opted into your ad. They've seen an offer that they're curious about, but they're not committed. They're not just going to reply to your call. They're not just going to give you money. They don't know everything about your service. And that's where that lead nurture, right, is so important to be able to get right. Okay, and I'm going to stress the thing that changed it all for me was one call, one SMS, one email for 10 days at minimum. That's what changed everything from saying leads are shit, that my business wasn't making money, that I was about to go broke in my first business, to be able to close over $20 million in sales from Facebook ads. Okay, and just remember, like, don't misread normal cold traffic behavior. Okay, so what I expected, right? Because I grew my business off like referrals, people inquiring on the website, like the easiest sales in the world to close. You don't even really need sales skills at that level, right? You just need a good product. I thought they were ready to buy. I thought they would be responsive straight away. I thought it would be high intent, and I thought it would be really easy conversations, which is just like I was so delusional at how Facebook ads actually work, right? If you ever think back then, I was like, you guys would have seen people, maybe even me today, going, hey, you can close $20 million of sales of Facebook ads. You're like, well, that sounds pretty easy. It is so fucking hard. It would blow people's minds how challenging it is. Because even the presentation I'm giving you today is like one millionth of what I've learned over time. And so I thought it was really easy. When in reality of ads, it's cold traffic. So they were scrolling, not searching. They weren't searching. If you have a home renovation business, they're not on Facebook searching for like, home renovation specialist near me. They are scrolling. Okay, they don't know you yet. The intent is lower at the start. Trust has to be built first. And the biggest thing you can do is to contact your leads faster, contact them consistently. Okay, and you're going to have to deal with other objections and other concerns in comparison to, say, a referral, which again is a good way to grow a business, not consistent, but they're the easiest sales to close. Like they're absolutely, you've got to like fumble the bag to like fuck up a referral sale, right? Okay, and so remember, you'll get responses like people not interested, people won't reply to your calls. That is expected normal behavior from cold leads, okay, and from direct offer marketing, which is what predominantly people do on social media. Okay, and you don't want to over rely on phone calls. All the data that you guys can look at, and you just have a look at your own life right now. If I picked up my phone and called you, right, under 10% of you guys would answer that phone call, right? One, you don't know my number. Two, it could be a spam number, depending how you've set up, right? Three, you're like busy, okay? And so you can't just like call people or message them and say, hey, Jimmy, I'm going to give you a call, right? You have to know the kind of sales follow-ups. And every single day that we continue to live on this world, the pickup rates on phone calls are going to be lower from unknown numbers. Okay, the pickup rates are going down year on year. There's spam callers, there's going to be AI callers and things like that, where you must get really good at being able to DM your leads if you're using Facebook lead forms. Definitely with your SMS marketing, so has 98% open rate and it's open within 3 minutes. But that's a skill of like, are you actually sending a message that someone can reply to, right? Or are you just sending a random blanket, no point message that is going to get your business absolutely nowhere? And so every message you send or every phone call you make or every time someone answers, that's a skill that I had to look at internally and go, right, instead of complaining of going, I sent 5 messages to Max and he didn't reply, right? I had to look internally and go, maybe the messages I sending were just fucking shit, right? Maybe I can improve the messages. And when I was able to look internally, it's like, cool, let's have a look over the messages. Let's review everything on what's happening and identify what's the number one thing that we can improve. Is it the ads or is it the sales process? There's always one thing you can improve. Implement that consistently, ideally automated if you can, right? And then you're just like away. And remember, on lead forms, guys, we work with a lot of people running lead forms, which is great. We've got businesses doing over $500,000 a month off lead forms. You can SMS your leads, okay? Sometimes in ads, people put in fake details, even on a landing page, even on lead forms. But on lead forms, I like it now, where what you can do is you can also DM your leads on social media, auto-populates. It's great, right? If you're complaining about lead forms, you don't like them, just go buy a software, change over your ads to landing pages. You get generally 20 to 30% higher correct details and 20-30% higher lead costs. So there's always pros and cons to that, okay? And remember, we've got to have multi-channel focus. I remember we'd have this sign in our business, and each day it would have phone call, SMS, WhatsApp message, DM if we could, and email. And that was like a 10-day flow where it's like, cool, have you WhatsApped Jimmy? Have you DM'd him? Have you phone called him? It's just one contact a day, right? Just to get them to reply. And as soon as they reply in that initial medium, so if someone replies to you via SMS, keep them in SMS, right? Don't say, hey, I'll give you a call. Chat to them back and forth there. That is a skill that you need to develop, and then get them on a call, okay? But you want to use multi-channel, SMS, email, call, DM, okay? DM works really, really well, especially if you're adding lead forms. We didn't do that in our businesses back then. It wasn't available. We used to add people on Facebook and then DM them that way. Okay, and I when I had the right to judge lead quality was at this level. And this is what my mentor said really directly. He goes, unless you've called, SMS'd, and emailed your leads once a day for 10 days, don't ever fucking tell me that the lead quality's bad. He goes, unless you can show me proof on that, go show me, screenshot me every call, screenshot me every SMS, screenshot me every email. Give me that, and then we'll say the lead quality's bad. But he's like, Jimmy, if you do that, yes, not every lead will convert. So you can convert roughly 5 to 20% of sales. He said that. But he goes, but you won't have this complaint because you'll be making money and closing sales. And as soon as I did that, I didn't have the same complaint. Yes, definitely leads didn't reply after 10 days. And that's okay. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive, right? Not everyone replies, but that solved the issue. When I was sooking and I was complaining and I was whinging and I was bitching, I just wasn't doing the right follow-ups needed to be able to make money. Okay, and you also want to track replies. Okay, and so if you want to implement, if what you said here today, like what I said here today resonated a little bit about my story, here's how you do it. Because I don't want you to waste months, and I don't want you to have to go to 15 different super expensive mentors to figure this out when we can sort out here today. One, you need to have automation set out, going out within 3 minutes, 30 minutes later. I talk about it a lot. There's links on all of these pages. You can go to like ACR to be able to set that up. It's really, really easy. You get like $1 trial for a month, right? Okay, run your follow-up for 10 days. Don't ever, just make a rule today. Go, I'm a business owner who wants to make the most money. I will never call a lead bad, right? Unless I've followed up with them for 10 days. Doing that will put you in the top 1% of business owners in the world, right? Who don't stalk, who don't complain, who do the work that's fucking needed to get results, and they will not complain that their leads are bad. Right? Do that, and I promise you your life will change. And I say that because I used to be a business owner that lived below the line, made no money, didn't earn the money that I thought I deserved, but I wasn't doing enough work. I was a whinger and complainer. Soon as I went over to those 10 days of contact, honestly, my whole life radically changed forever. Right? And I was nearly about to quit ads when I first started. It was I was absolutely the worst client ever for my mentor at the time, okay, because I just wanted them to work and I wanted things to easy, but it's not the case. Make sure you're contacting people in all channels, in all platforms, okay? Track the right numbers. You want to track how many leads, how many do we get them to reply? About that 3 to 4 replies per 10 leads. If they're not replying, it's highly likely you're just not contacting people enough. They've given you their details. It's totally cool to contact them once a day. And once you've looked at all of those things, yes, there's things you can improve in your ads. You know, you might change some questions in your lead form, or you might change from a lead form to a landing page, like 100%, right? And I still make changes in my ads today, and I've made changes since I first learned this. But you cannot say the ads are bad unless you are looking at all of these systems together, okay? And once you look at all of these systems together and the ads combined, if you've closed under 100 sales, I guarantee you that 99% of this you're not doing in this form, or at least 50% you're not doing. And if you implement it, if you're like, cool, that makes sense, this dude knows what he's talking about, okay, you will go and implement it and you won't have the same complaint again.